Joining us right now to talk more about Tesla is Gene Munster, Deepwater Asset Management managing partner. And Gene, there was a massive and hard and fast sell-off yesterday. A little bit of a rebound this morning, up by about 5%. But you're talking about more than $100 billion that was sold off instantaneously as this happened. Was that an overreaction in your mind, or was it just?
Becky, I think it was an overreaction, and ultimately, Andrew really hit the pressure point on the head, and I just want to zero in on that. What's at play here is this treatment that Tesla, or Waymo for that matter, may have with the federal government, NHTSA specifically, in terms of making it easier for autonomous vehicles to become widespread. And this, of course, was the impetus for Tesla's move in valuation, $900 billion today. And that's why the stock is down, that's somehow put in jeopardy because of what happened yesterday. But my view that this is an overreaction comes from a position that ultimately I think that the president wants to do what is right for the country, despite, I think, all the personalities between the two and wanting to get a kind of a one-upsmanship. I think that the president does want to do what's right for the country. And when you think about AI and this arms race, I mean, undoubtedly, this is a new frontier in terms of global power. And the physical AI piece is one manifestation of that. And the most obvious example of that is going to be with autonomy. So just to kind of play this forward, let's take the position that Trump is more punitive to Elon. It makes it more difficult for autonomous. And then we look around and we see autonomous vehicles in China everywhere. I'm fast forwarding 1 to 5 years from now. And in Europe and the rest of the world, it would be a little bit odd, I think, for this personality blow up to really slow down that pace of innovation. And so ultimately, I think that what is best for the country is for autonomy to move forward. And I think that that means that this is going to continue to move forward. Obviously comes at a big time with Tesla next week and what we're going to hear from Austin.
You know, Gene, I think really looking through it, though, there were questions that people were trying to get to immediately. The government contracts, the permissions that he needs, not only for autonomous driving, but for anything else he wants to do down the line with robots and other issues, for that to get kind of rolled out. If you're sure that this is an overreaction, would you be buying this today? Are you buying this stock today?
So I own Tesla personally. I'm going to continue to own it. Ultimately is that, you know, this robotics, the government piece, is really important for SpaceX. It's really not important for Tesla. I think that you know, the implications in terms of what happens with Optimus and the government being a big buyer of Optimus, I think is small to the opportunity within industrial robotics. And so, yes, I am a buyer here. I'm a buyer in part because I think that on the margin, while the robotaxi rollout slow initially, starting to gain some momentum in Austin, it won't be perfect by any measure, but I think it will speak to a very simple truth, which is autonomous vehicles are safer and people do prefer them. They don't like actually talking to their Uber driver. They do prefer autonomous. And so I think that as we kind of play this forward, I believe that that's more than $1 trillion opportunity. And again, the stock just below or just around 900 billion in market cap. I think that there's still upside. So at the end of the day, you know, there is this other rift. It's worth mentioning. I think the pressure point is around legislation, around moving autonomy forward. There is this impact that Tesla has been benefited from Trump supporters buying Tesla vehicles. And, you know, what happens. And the last piece, Becky, before we kind of really wrap up, there's one other piece about the conversation that I think should be brought up, which is this goes, what happened yesterday does go beyond Tesla. It goes beyond, I think it really hits the broader big tech, who's been a huge investment in Trump. And ultimately, what does that mean for what happened yesterday mean for the likes of Jensen and Tim Cook and other CEOs who have been working hard? They're not the personality of Elon, so they're not going to probably have this kind of rift. But it is, I think, just a reminder that that they really need the president, and we have some big decisions around regulation that are coming up that are going to impact mega cap companies.